Well, ladies, congratulations on Godmothered. It was I had such a great time watching it.
Oh, God.
My first question is for you, Jillian. Of course, Eleanor is exactly the kind of plot determined heroine you expect from Disney, but her origin is super unique. So, how do you think that her time at the Fairy Godmother Academy has really shaped her perspective and outlook on life?
I mean, I think she is a true believer in fairy tales, and she wants to follow all the rules and get it all perfectly right. And I can relate to that. When I was younger, that's all I wanted to do was get all my homework done, get straight A's, never be a problem. But like life is messy, and I think it's fun to show that even if you have a plan to come and try to help a little girl and you know what we know of normal fairy tales of the prince and the gown and the castle, that sometimes people don't want that. And you know, it's a real modern take on a classic fairy tale, and I think that it's good and important to show, I mean, even me as an adult, but also young kids, that happily ever after can look different to everybody.
I love that. Speaking of how different happily ever after, when Max starts out, her and her daughters have a kind of a strained relationship, even though clearly there is a lot of love there. So why is a fairy godmother just the right ingredient for that family recipe?
Well, I think for a character like Mac, who hasn't really been able to process the death of her husband because she had to be in mom mode and keep modeling, you know, getting on with life and working hard, and you know, she's all alone in the world, really. Well, at least as a parent, she'd forgotten to sort of fall in love with life. And what Eleanor does is give her the tools, or at least just open her eyes to all the blessings she can count if she just stops focusing on the things she's not doing. I think Mac's incredibly hard on herself and believes that she should be doing something else work-wise or have done more for her girls in some way. And as a result, she limits her daughter, her eldest daughter, who has this fantastic singing voice. She sort of, she forgets to say the most obvious thing, which is, I believe in you and you can do this, because she's so afraid that she'll get hurt, because that's obviously what she's been through. So I think it's something that all parents relate to in varying degrees. This journey as a parent is half the time you're like, oh, I wish I could have, you know, done this differently. Everything we do is just a work in progress, right?
Right. But speaking of that voice, that is your voice, right? You're the one singing.
Yeah.
You have such an amazing voice. My question, when you actually, you know, came out to sing, without spoilers, I guess, would be just how do you sing in a way that's unprepared? How do you ever make it sound like Jane is not confident?
Oh, you know, that's the biggest struggle for me, I think, during the entire filming process is everybody always has those moments in the film where you're like struggling and you stop and you're like awkwardly standing there. And I watched Demi Lovato's performance on what show was it? And she stopped because she was so emotional and it was so raw and so perfect. And I watched it and I analyzed it because it was a really weird thing to do, because I didn't want to make it seem unnatural, but it was a big moment for Jane. And obviously taking that breath and taking a pause and being like, I'm going to come at this from a different headspace was something that was really important for the character. So that was a little hard, but it was fun.
Well, you knocked it out of the park. I love that so much. Now, my final question would be, I really love how Disney has lately been, you know, turning all of its own tropes on its head, right? This one obviously is fairy godmothers, pumpkins and carriages, princesses. So in honor of that, which is your favorite Disney trope? Any of you, any trope that you would love to explore further or to modernify?
Oh, no, you go.
No, I was going to steal one for you, so you might say it. So you say it first.
No, you go.
Well, just because you've said it before, and I actually think it's good as the whole a woman is sleeping and a prince wakes her up.
Oh,
with the
yeah,
kid.
that whole inappropriate, like no consent smooch. Yeah, I love it if we could just add consent into the romance of.
She comes up from the dead. She's like, yes, you may kiss me.
It happens in the dream world. He
She
goes into the dream world. There you go, to wake her
Oh,
up.
that's cool.
That's good. Oh,
That, I like that.
Thank you all so much. Can't wait for families to watch it on Disney Plus.
Thank you.
Have a great night.